weekend. Expect company and a lot of it. We check in on the record number of travelers driving to that holiday getaway.
Oh, we're looking at the quiet skies right now, but it's resulting in a hot afternoon. We'll break down your forecast coming up.
And President Biden meets with a handful of Democratic governors on abortion rights issues.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
AAA predicts nearly 48 million people will travel 50 or more miles from home this long holiday weekend. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Recession fears are slowly driving down gas prices, but Americans are still shelling out more for those getaways. Record 42 million people will be hitting the highways alone. That demand is enough to override consistently high gas prices. The drop in the global price of oil helps shave about 9 cents off the average price per gallon. Some retailers are chipping in too. Sheetz lowered its prices through July 4th for 2 types of gasoline. It may be a tougher go for air travelers, though. Tickets are pricey, cancellations are common, and staffing is short, factors that could continue through the summer. Well, if you are hitting the road this weekend, you may see gas prices lower than they've been in recent weeks. AAA says both a decrease in gas demand and oil prices are the reason. Now, right now, the average price of a gallon of regular in the Joplin Metro is $4.32. In Crawford County, Kansas, that average is $4.59. And over in Ottawa County, Oklahoma, it's at $4.37. Those are all lower than the national average of $4.84. You'll want to make sure your AC is charged and ready for the road. Meteorologist Nick Kelly joins us with a first look at your holiday weekend forecast.
Yeah, that's one big thing we're watching as we go through the holiday weekend, Tanya. But now you caught me scanning the skies from our 7th and Rangeline camera. We're starting to see actually partly sunny skies filter on in as we speak. Nothing from those clouds right now, but it's a sign that our cold front that was northwest of the region certainly yesterday is edging ever closer, wanting to play a role in our forecast as we continue to get the holiday weekend underway. The morning hours had that front keep any rain or thunderstorm chances mainly across northern Kansas along and north of I-70. But as the front gets closer, it could spark a random storm or two late this afternoon. For the time being, though, we're not seeing anything really popping up on the radar network, so at least we're out to a dry start this afternoon. The temperatures, that's the other big story here. Upper 80s in some spots, already near 90 at the top of the noon hour, but the front is pulling in more humidity. It's already making it feel like the mid 90s at the noon hour, and I don't think we're done heating up just yet. Even if we continue with partly sunny skies and maybe a random storm or two, we're all going to have a hot afternoon with highs near 96, heat indices around 100, maybe just a tad hotter. And then as we go toward the overnight, at least we'll see a little reprieve from the heat and maybe additional storms by sunrise, lows near 72. We'll see if we can keep any rain chances in the forecast. And I hate to tease it this way, Tanya, but we are not done really heating things up. Certainly by the middle of next week, it's going to be a hot stretch. We'll break down the numbers for everybody here in a bit.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Nick. Yeah. Well, several 4-state communities are celebrating the 4th early with fireworks celebrations tonight. In Missouri, you can catch light shows in Anderson, Mount Vernon, and in Republic. In Kansas, Girard starts its party later this afternoon. And in Oklahoma, you can find fireworks in Commerce. You can find a complete list of events on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, today, President Joe Biden meets with 10 Democratic governors who vowed to protect abortion rights. In a press conference yesterday, the president called the Supreme Court's decision to strike down Roe v. Wade outrageous and announced his support for a filibuster carve-out in the U.S. Senate. He's calling on Congress to pass a law with a simple majority vote. Meanwhile, abortion rights advocates in states around the nation are taking their fight to the courts and the polls. Skylar Henry has more from the White House.
Today, President Biden holds a virtual meeting with a group of Democratic governors to discuss the future of abortion rights.
It is a mistake, in my view, for the Supreme Court to do what it did.
It comes one day after the president slammed the High Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade on the world stage. He also announced his support for a change in Senate rules, despite previous opposition from 2 moderate Democrats.
I believe we have to codify Roe v. Wade, and if the filibuster gets in the way, it's like voting rights. we provide an exception.
In a statement, Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell slammed the president's remarks as an inappropriate attack on the court, adding the people will now have a say on abortion rights. The Democrats have seized the issue to rally voters ahead of this year's midterm elections, with abortion measures already expected on some state ballots. Planned Parenthood and other supporters of abortion rights have also turned to state courts. In Florida, a judge said he'd temporarily block the state's 15-week ban under the state constitution, following similar rulings in other states.
It was not, of course, something, that we were happy to see.
Florida's Republican governor has vowed to continue the legal battle. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
This week, the Department of Health and Human Services laid out steps it's taking to support family planning services, announcing millions of dollars in new grants for provider training and issuing tips for protecting patient privacy. Well, activists in Joplin are rallying in support of abortion rights. Joplin for Justice and Julie Joplin Media hosted the Rally for Reproductive Freedom at 7th and Rangeline yesterday. Attendees say it's important to continue to show support.
We knew that as soon as Roe v. Wade was overturned, we were going to have a lot more people turning out because, frankly, we're angry and we don't want this to happen to people in our state, to where now they are suffering for not having access to their own autonomy.
Before the rally, the groups hosted a station for people to make their own signs. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, a new law goes into effect in Mississippi today to help combat a growing problem nationwide, the theft of catalytic converters from cars. We take a look. And later, we're making a chilled, beefed up summer salad in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. As millions of Americans prepare to hit the roads this holiday weekend, catalytic converter thefts are also taking aim. The thieves are also taking aim at their vehicles and their wallets. Thefts of the expensive anti-pollution devices soared more than 1,200% between 2019 and 2021. CBS's Carter Evans explains what drivers can do to protect themselves.
They took all this piece. This is all where the catalytic converter goes and the oxygen sensors. They're all missing.
It's becoming a common sight for mechanics and an expensive lesson for car owners.
You feel violated.
Krista Washington had to pay $2,500 to replace her catalytic converter after thieves stole it in broad daylight. Working like NASCAR pit crews, crooks jack up the car and use a cordless saw to cut out the converter in seconds.
Hey, you!
This man confronted thieves as they crawled underneath his truck.
Since COVID started, the theft of catalytic converters has gone up like crazy.
From 2019 to 2021, thefts shot up more than 1,200%, with California, Texas, Washington, North Carolina, and Minnesota leading the nation.
Without your catalytic converter, you really just can't drive the car.
Consumer Reports auto reporter Benjamin Preston says what makes them so expensive is what's inside.
You'll have probably at least $1,000 worth of precious metals in a catalytic converter.
Each one can contain several grams of platinum, palladium, and rhodium, which are used to decrease noxious gases from engine exhaust. And with today's prices for those metals, thieves can sell them to scrap yards for up to a couple $100 a piece. In Los Angeles, police have offered to etch VIN numbers onto catalytic converters to deter theft. This year alone, 36 states are working on legislation to regulate how they're bought and sold. But in the meantime,
now's a good time to start keeping an eye on it and thinking about where you're parking.
Might be worth walking a few extra blocks just to park your car in a better place.
Carter Evans, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Wow. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
It's July, and that means we're looking for new ideas for dinner that'll keep us cool and satisfied. Just wait until you see what we came up with. Just wait.
But first, Nick Kelly returns with your complete forecast.
I wish I had better news about temperatures holding off and staying away from the furnace, but this is the beginning of a setup that Mother Nature is really going to stick to us as we go throughout the next several days. At least we're not under any confined center of this upper level ridge, but we're no doubt on the warmer side of the jet still. And it's been doing its best to keep a cold front just to the north of the region, but this has been slowly inching toward us over the past couple days. And you can see throughout the morning hours, I was keeping an eye on the band of rain and even some thunderstorms along the north of I-70 in Kansas this morning. Nothing really threatening going on right now. All we're seeing is just a cloud cover from that morning batch of rain and storms. For the time being, that's not resulting in anything on the radar network right now, but as that front continues to come closer, it's pulling in more humidity, so it would not be surprising if we had a few stray little guys, rain or thunderstorms that is, try to perk up as we go into the later part of the afternoon. In the meantime, the cumulus clouds are trying to build, but not threatening for the time being, so we'll call that a partly sunny sky in Joplin, but already quite warm at 89, feels like 95 with the humidity back on the increase, certainly making it feel like 95 with that dew point at 71. And it's not just Joplin though, everyone's in the upper 80s to near 90 just past the top of the noon hour. And these are numbers that we knew had to make a return at some point. Dew points in the upper 60s to lower 70s. Yeah, it's starting to feel sticky and muggy again, but it's what's making it feel like 94 in Pittsburgh, 97 in Sedan, 95 in Veneta, 92 in Neosho, 94s for Greenfield and Carthage. So that's one thing that this front is doing, is continuing to pull the humidity up, and that is going to result in temperatures pushing into the mid-90s this afternoon. In fact, let me show you your future track forecast here. Here's where we're going to top out at today. We're at about 90 degrees across much of the area now. We're going to top out around 96 this afternoon with a light south breeze at 5 to 10. The front edging closer, you can see how that future track wants to pop, maybe a random storm or two, but the vast majority of us are going to stay dry throughout the day. And if we get one of these guys to pop up, I'm not expecting anything really severe. Can't rule out maybe a couple efficient downpours, but certainly nothing too alarming if we can get those few little guys to pop up. Here's 11 o'clock tonight. We'll go back to partly cloudy skies, at least a little bit of a break in the rain chances, but then the front going into Saturday wants to park itself actually on top of the region. That keeps us mostly cloudy for your Saturday. Certainly mostly cloudy to start the morning out. Maybe some scattered storms sneaking in as well. Then we'll have additional scattered thunderstorm chances as we go into Saturday afternoon. But these rain chances will not scrub out the heat. And unfortunately, this upper level ridge just holds in place. So even though we're going to hold on to some random thunderstorm chances Sunday and on the 4th before the front lifts back north, look at the upper level ridge by the middle of next week, just parked right on top of the central and southern plains. This is a sign that temperatures are still going to climb upward as we go into the middle of next week. 96 for today, 94s for Saturday and Sunday. Drier for the 4th, but hotter for the 4th with highs near 98. And I do not like putting any triple-digit numbers on the 7-day Tanya, but with the way that setup's looking, we'll have to at least top out near, or if not over 100 by next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
If we could time out these scattered showers, throughout the weekend, everybody could use a little touch here and there just to make it safer for the fireworks too.
Absolutely. We'll certainly bank on that. And if we get any of those downpours during the afternoon where it's hot enough, maybe a little bit of a cool down, temporary, but certainly some people wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, cloud cover's not going to hurt. All right, thanks, Nick. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Specialist Ronald Daniels in the U.S. Army. The Altoona, Kansas native joined the 3rd 18th Artillery in 1969. He fought in Vietnam until 1960. To Ronald Daniels, we thank you, our four-state hero. The summer heat has turned us away from most comfort foods, but today we've got a way to bring a little extra comfort to your favorite salad. Howard shows us how to make a chilled, beefed up summer salad in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
When it comes to cooking during the summer, we usually stay away from the slow cook comfort foods and lean towards the lighter fare. And if this July is going to be anything like last year's, which happens to be the hottest month ever on record, then the beefed up summer salad we're making today is just what we're looking for. We start by cutting a head of iceberg lettuce and placing it on a platter. On top of that, we arrange some cucumbers and tomatoes that we've chunked up. Now, for the part that turns this from just a salad into a main dish, we pile on some cooked roast beef. And that can be chunked up from a leftover roast or from the deli. And since a salad is only as good as the dressing that goes on it, we threw together a creamy horseradish dressing that really complements the beef. Then we threw on some onions, and it's done. It may seem simple, but the simplest things in life are often the best. And when you serve this chilled, laced with a tangy dressing, don't be surprised if this becomes a year-round favorite. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our chilled beefed up summer salad, cause it's that good. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a cool and refreshing way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
We are going to really heat things up this afternoon with highs near 96. Can't rule out a few stray thunderstorms, but most of us will be dry. Holding on to scattered rain chances Saturday and Sunday. It won't scrub out the heat, though. We'll keep highs around 94. Drier for the 4th, but hotter on the 4th with highs near 98. And I already told Tanya, Dal, we have not trended those numbers by the middle of next week down. We'll still on track to crack 100 by then.
That's not good. Prefer to, go in the other direction if we can.
Well, hopefully the boss, the chief meteorologist Doug Heddy, could hopefully give us some better numbers coming up this evening at 5.
We'll have a talk with him for sure. All right, what do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, we're all different. Some are taller, shorter, bigger, smaller. And Health Watch, we're going to take a look at the largest study to date revealing how COVID vaccines work with people of different sizes. Plus, the Carthage Humane Society rejects its contract with the city of Carthage. We're going to find out what happens to animals picked up by animal control. And the Joplin Police Department sends out a warning about counterfeit bills in circulation. Those stories, a lot more. KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dal. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at Noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.